We are recording. Okay, cool. So today is game development,
It's
specifically
Mahjong tonight.
Mahjong Day. So here's the question: how do you model such a game? How do you model such a game? Mahjong. Um. Okay, so where do you want to start? I think that's probably the best question. We have so many things to do.
Hmm.
You have so many freaking things to do. Um, so we can either try to do data structures and understand how we're going to model each piece of the process, or we can try to make the routing for what is going to be the API for each possible movement.
I really think we should start with the data, to be honest.
Sure, sure. So the only thing we know is that for now, the state of the entirety of the game is essentially a map. I think that's the extent of what we know, right?
It's essentially a map.
Yeah, this is what the argument that we're passing to the stuff.
Okay.
So as far as I
Spawn,
can tell,
gameplay.
we are putting this key with this PID in there, and we're creating a map out of that, and that's the argument that we are passing to the play function that is happening inside the game when we spawn that. And then when we do the dispatching, this is just doing the routing.
Okay. Uh, alright. That means we need to add keys to the map to model each part of the game. Um, hmm.
My
Hmm.
understanding is that at some point, actually before that, where are we printing this stuff? Oh, here it is. We're just passing HTML. Wait, what? You see what's going on here?
It's sending a message.
Yeah, but why is this a list? Is this a map inside a list? I think it is, right?
Uh,
Yeah, it is. That's kind of bad.
is there a reason for that?
I think it's because the type signature of the argument, it needs to be a list. But I'm kind of confused because is this how you make? No, that's not how you make a list. Is it? Spawn Erlang.
Oh, it's because the entire thing is a list.
Where?
On the line where we're building the map, we're inside of a quasi quote.
Line that it's not number line. You mean this?
Yeah, we're inside of a quasi quote, which means the outer structure is a list, which is going to stay a list because it's quoted. But the map we're constructing is an unquoted expression, so it actually evaluates to the map, but the map is inside of a list.
But do we need the list? That's kind of the question.
I don't see why we would, to be honest.
Okay, so you're basically telling me that we can just do it like this. Oh, not like that actually.
Well, we need the parentheses around the map constructor.
Like this. Is that what you're proposing?
Yes, and then we also need to. Yeah, no, that should be enough actually.
Okay, let's try to see. I think it's gonna break now. Yep.
But why?
Bad return. Spawn. Line 15. This is the map. Yeah, what is the type signature of spawn? Yeah, man, I'm starting to think that spawn must take a list.
That's a list of arguments to pass to the function, but we are already passing a list, aren't we? Online. Oh, no, I see. That's because line 17 is a call to spawn. That actually makes sense. Hmm.
Yeah, but then the question is why or how are we gonna not have to do this? Actually, I should not do that. Actually, also that's not correct. How are we gonna not do this type of stuff all the time?
We're sending HTML to the item 1 of state. Item 1 of state. But where is that state coming from?
That is
The
coming from
handler.
here. No, not there. That is coming from here. Do we need this? Can we just do it like this? Is that a thing?
That might be a thing, yes. I'm not sure, but it might be.
Okay, something happened. What is the port? 4040. So local. Uh,
500. What does the console say?
oh, it broke.
No function
No,
clause
actually that makes
matching.
sense. Because if it's not a list, that means that that function call should actually explode.
Okay.
Um, but there's another question that I am. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it worked.
Huh. Okay.
See this?
Yeah.
So that is that print, which means that we can just, I guess, get rid of this thing and also all the other ones as well. We can just do it like that. Yep, perfection. Perfection. So let's do a commit. Actually, we need to merge this, actually.
Uh, hmm. We're sending JSON directly to the state, which means the state is a PID, not a map. Is that a problem?
Wait. Yeah, that's not a problem. You know why? Because the state of the game itself is actually contained within this thing that we're never gonna end.
Okay.
The way, like, the idea that I had when I proposed this was when we do a routing and we have a route of the API, when we do that, we're going to actually communicate what should the state function do. And that's going to be the argument passing here. And then in the play function, we're going to have a stateful thing and an argument. And then we mutate this, calling ourselves recursively to keep it.
Okay, so we're doing OO in Erlang. Well, in LFE actually.
Uh, I guess, but there is no notion of an object. There's only the notion of,
The process is the object. It's an active object actually.
yeah, that's kind of what I thought. And then we're gonna keep putting the inputs in here, with a gigantic pattern matching. And then in here we do whatever needs to happen with the game that is be contained in here. That's my plan. What do you think?
I think it's a sound plan.
So let's finish bootstrap of game server. And let's push that right into that.
Uh, be right back.
Uh, we should open the thing ready for review. Waiting for Marinho, waiting for Marinho.
And I'm back, and I have orange juice now.
Could you please approve the
Review the
PR?
PR.
Yeah,
Okay.
review and approve.
Server bootstrap. Um, Dr.Nekoma. Mahjong. Server bootstrap. This is alright. This is probably fine. Oh, we have CI/CD now.
We do?
Okay.
That's weird. We do. Holy moly.
Build once a month, just to be sure things are still working.
That's hilarious, man.
Ah, Bennett did this, didn't he?
Yeah, of course. Of course he did. Do you have any doubt? It was him.
Man, look at those commit messages.
Oh yeah, that's definitely Benet art in there.
Look, trash handler, delete trash, add play function to test state. No, that's normal. Partial fix for trash, almost full fix for trash. Trash is fixed.
Okay, let me also remove tools mix. We will handle rescript later.
The funny thing is, we did have a function called trash at some point, didn't we?
I don't remember anymore.
Okay. Uh, let's see. Rebar generated by rebar3.nix. Okay, this is generated thing. Rebar config. There's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, this looks kind of sensible.
I have no clue how we're gonna do the rescript because I just deleted the custom VS Code stuff. Actually, did I? Did I delete that? I actually don't remember. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I didn't. Okay, I'm actually gonna delete this because there's no purpose on having it if we're not gonna have the extensions for our stuff. So I'm gonna just
Hmm.
delete this. And if people get mad, be mad. I should not have shown that stuff. Because of course...
These were deleted. This is probably fine. Here's the supervisor. Strategy 1 for 1. Okay.
Yeah, this is better.
Ensure all ensure all started. Okay. Yeah, this looks fine. Approved.
Boom. Cool. So server bootstrap is now merged. So we have a proper stuff. Let's actually create a new branch. So we have a main. Okay, that was fast. Uh, then we do pool origin main. Yeah, the flake is running. Cool. And then we're gonna do what? Uh, what are we gonna call this branch? Marinho?
I almost want to say Ghostbusters, but that has literally nothing to do with what we're doing, so I'm not gonna say that.
I
Um,
think I want to call this one initial game loop.
okay.
Cool. So let's go to the server and let's keep it in here and now let's talk about it. So my dream is the following. I'm going to use some random notation in here. So my mind is like sessions, and then in here we have something like this. In here we have this, and I should lispify everything. So then we're going to have first, and we're going to have second, then we're going to have third, then we're going to have fourth, and then we're going to have discard. Maybe this can actually be this. Then we're going to have table. Is that enough?
Oh, the turns move counterclockwise. That's so cringe.
But that doesn't matter for the server. That's just a visual thing. From the wall. Actually, this is not called the table. This is called the wall. Do you think that's enough?
Uh,
Oh, wait a moment. I think this is not
the
enough.
isn't the
Each player has a
discard?
discard, right?
Yeah, each player has a discard.
Okay, so it's gonna be like, which by the way I forgot the fucking syntax.
Yeah, each player is gonna have a hand and a discard.
Yeah, so this goes here. So something like this. And then also there is the hand. And this applies for all of them. Do you think that's enough?
We need that key to keep track of which player is the east player at the moment
Do
for
you
the
mean
round.
like the current?
We also need that, but um,
Actually, this brings a very interesting question. How flatten are we going to try this? Because we could do like players in here.
let's not. Heavy nesting is not that great, Lemos, actually.
Yeah, but then the question is, what's going to be the criteria here? Because I also want to have like current, which is going to be like first. Oh, these guys also have points. Points.
I almost want to say we should make a list of players and put it in a key called players, but that seems like too much.
No, so you were proposing doing what I said before,
Hello, people.
like this. Hello, Magetta.
Not a hello, Magit. Not a map, a list of players.
Amen.
Oh, and you're going to use the index to
Yeah,
rotate?
to identify the players.
Let me see. So you guys are doing the map with the state? Oh, I see. So you're mapping sessions. Man, isn't that like way more advanced than what we need to just make something work on the base game first?
Oh yeah, the base game can have just one session. This is just because I'm already thinking future
I mean,
stuff.
it could be. I was thinking more of a single state, right? Not even, and then we can abstract the state to be a session later, probably.
Well, but the single state is gonna be probably a map, and that's what we're designing right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
the
gonna
map
have to
that
do a
Magetta is
map.
talking about is
If we
this.
wanna storm Insomnia, we're gonna have to do this anyhow, right?
No, it's literally just the state that that uh, the
Well,
process
it
that
could
handles
be.
the session is going to hold,
Yeah, it makes
essentially.
sense. Like it could be variables, just some variables, right? Like a list of pieces and etc. But yeah, I agree. Makes more sense too.
Uh, oh, this will also have like a name and as a password. So Marinho, your proposal is to like abstract the counting and just have a list in here. And we use the index as the.
Yeah, players, plural, that's the name of the key, and the value is a list of players, and we just say, yeah, each player, we identify by their position,
Uh-huh.
but actually,
And then the counter here becomes not an atom but a number now.
we also need to know which player is the current east, right?
Does that matter? I don't know the game yet. East. Um, is that enough?
Uh, yeah, this looks okay to start with.
Okay, so for now, I'm gonna like we're gonna do what Magita said. We're gonna just like we have a vision of what's gonna happen in the future, but for now we're gonna not have sessions in name and password, and this is gonna be the only map that we're gonna keep playing with. Cool, cool. I should
By the
I
way,
should describe this
Magenta.
type, right, for the dialyzer.
Yeah, we should probably.
Yeah.
Mageta,
Yeah.
so I've been thinking about this ever since Lemos did that presentation about relational theory.
Mhm.
Would you say that a set of maps is a better way to represent relations than a matrix?
A set of maps. A set of maps. Yes, yes, exactly. Because, well, mm, it's
Like,
still lacking the encoding of the proposition, right? But I don't think you can do that with a like with the computer. That's in a query. So
yeah,
yeah, like
I'm talking specifically about how to represent this with a data structure, like the contents of this particular, well, the tuples in this particular relvar would be the
yeah.
proper terminology, right?
hmm Yes,
Because
I
it,
think that's it. Because you like here's the thing: matrices they enforce order of the rows and order
columns as well.
of the columns, right? Those things don't exist. So yeah, a set of maps is probably the way to go.
Uh, I have a question for Magita. Should we read? Yes.
Yeah. Or as Benet calls me, Magrita.
Uh, my question is, uh, would you agree that, well, I don't know how we're going to do the API yet, but my feeling is that we can kind of like do them separately. Like we can just assume that whatever is happening in these things, they will like send the correct stuff to this function. That's the only thing we are assuming.
Yeah, we can have a translation layer between the session handler and the actual HTTP stuff.
Yeah, so I think what we should do now is to just pattern match on the available moves.
Yeah.
So I would say this, and then what about discard? And here there's a number, right? An index of which piece in your hand you are discarding.
Actually,
That's
we also need to include the
one.
player that's making the move.
We don't. We are. The server knows which one is the player.
No, 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 but we do, because at this point we don't know where the message is coming from, you see?
What do you mean? If there is a single session, we always know where the message is coming from.
Well, presumably there will be multiple people from different browsers connecting to the same session, no?
No, yes, but the server, like we're gonna change later, Marinho. We're gonna change this. We're gonna change this thing, right? It's not gonna be only this, right? There's gonna be more stuff that we're gonna put in here, like the initial map of the state, and then we're gonna
That's
have
not
the current equals to 0.
that's not really. Let me put it this way. What happens if it's player one's turn, but player two sends a message to the server trying to make a move?
Oh, you mean if people are like clicking in the stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. So we're gonna call this player. And that's
Uh,
not. I also think that's not how you do that. I think you do commas or not. No, you don't do commas. This is a
no,
Lisp.
you don't.
This is how you do
Yeah,
tuples, right?
I think so. That's from if I'm remembering right.
Cool.
You can always
So,
type tuple.
sorry.
Front. You can always type tuple on the front.
No, you mean instead of the hashtag. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so if well, this player is trying to discard this piece, what should we do? We should first get his hand. Well, we first need to do what Marinho said. We need to check if the current is equal to the player. If it's not, we should send a message saying you should not be able, you should not do that. We can't do
Yeah.
that. So something like if, and then I'm gonna make a
Are we also
guess.
gonna use the same strategy that we did for Lithium, where we have a process for each player representing the authentication of that player?
No, there's no authentication in here because this is going to be self-hosted. Like, you're going to be able to spawn a server in your computer and make a session with a name and a password, and then that's how people is going to join your session. There's no character, there's no profile.
But there are still players connecting to the session when there are more than one of them, right?
Oh, you mean like having one process just for joining the session and another one just to play the game?
Yeah, like
Eh,
I was thinking
sure.
because here's the thing, we also want to avoid the problem where okay, it's player one's turn. What if player two sends a message pretending to be player one?
Pretending to be player one.
I mean, that's cheating, right? But
Yeah, no, but
should we do something about it? Maybe. But
pretending to be player one.
I mean, enforcing the rules is part of the server's responsibility, no?
hopefully,
Yeah, I I think I agree. Yeah, but then are we gonna have like play is gonna be the session handler, and then we is gonna call another process just to play the game? I don't know if I want to do that right now. Let's make it that
Okay.
to do. Have
Authentication.
two separate processes, one for auth,
that's
another.
something that you can check with signing, right? On the like a GWT.
Yeah, that's possible.
So the user has its own account, and then we select the thing dependent on what it has on its token, right? Something
How
like
do
that.
you do a map lookup in LFA?
Find probably map find.
I isn't it get?
I think it's get.
Uh, Good
I think it's the
question.
same functions, right? So
I
get.
think you need to qualify like map whatever.
Oh, you think you need to qualify? Let's check that.
Yeah, well, unless there's a handy function that's an alias, right? But I'm talking about the Erlang function.
Get.
Yeah, but then you need to do maps get, right?
You pass the key and then the map, of course. So the key, which is also this, the map, maps. So if this is true, that means you're fine. If that's not true, that's actually a good question. How do we inform the routing, like the people that are calling us?
Uh, well, we need to get a PID as part of the message to reply back to.
Isn't this the session? I think I should
But
name
who is
this
sending?
different.
But who is sending the message to the session, Lemos?
Who? These guys. Wait, you mean
But those are not
the session of the game, or the session, this session?
the game.
The
Well,
game's gonna be the handlers.
but who is going to execute the handlers to send the message to the game?
This guy.
Hmm. No, but that's the actual handler that's going to receive the message, no? Oh wait, no, that's the HTTP handler.
Yeah, this is the handler module that you're passing here to Cowboy. And then this has a behavior in here. Well, that's not the correct terminology, it's not behavior, but it expects you to have a module in there that has, I think it needs to have the init function and the
Oh, right, right. The handler is going to spawn a process to handle its message, right?
yeah. So my question is, how do we inform back, like, for example,
Well,
this?
the message that uh, the session, the session process that we're implementing here needs to receive the PID to reply to as well as part of the message that it's handling.
You mean like we need to have the PID that is running these functions?
Yeah, I think so.
Um, so I guess you mean swapping the this with like this.
Not just that, it needs to also or it needs to send something like discard the position, the player number, and the PID to reply to, right? Something like that.
Let's put 0 like this.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, and then we go here, and then here we're gonna have callback, PID. What do we prefer? We send back to the PID. Well, we don't have this remembered. We need to send an error, right? What are we
So
gonna
we need to
say?
make a tuple. So we need to make a tuple if we're gonna follow the convention.
Error, and we're gonna say what? Um, this
Uh,
player can't discard right now. Let's say you can't discard. That's good enough. So if you are actually the correct player to be making an action, if that's true, Marinho, oh, no, not Marinho, Magueta, what happens when you pass your
Mhm.
turn? You won't like. Do you need to do any like end phase?
I mean, if you mean pass as in I don't do anything, you can't do that. But you need to always discard a piece. But when your turn ends, that means you discarded a piece, you don't have a win condition. Uh,
No, no. Let's put a bunch of ifs in there. You're done. You already don't have win condition. You discarded your
yeah.
piece. What happens? Like, what should happen on the end phase before we pass the turn?
We add the piece that you discarded to the graveyard, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it, I think.
Okay.
Don't remember having anything special.
Uh, Actually, that's a very good question. So each player, each turn, must discard at least one piece, or can discard more than one?
Uh, Only one, no more than one.
Only one.
I mean, actually, it depends. If you're opening your hand, you're not really discarding. You're making a combo, and then that goes to the corner of your screen. But that's not discarded pieces. That's a special thing. It's as if it's still in your hand, but it shows on the corner. You see, so that's visible.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I
So there are
guess
two ways to discard. That's what I meant.
hand. Oh, I need to do some nesting gets. Okay, so do we have threading macros? Does anybody know?
Uh,
well, you can always import the closure compatibility for LFE.
Oh yes, but before doing that, is there anything built in that I can just do this type of stuff?
let me use my superpowers to guess that for you, Lumos. No,
I wanna say no as well.
that's likely an omen. That's the If it implies on suffering, that's likely a yes.
If it implies on suffering. Uh, so, man, we need. Where is the documentation that Mageta keeps bringing about?
Documentation.
Yeah, so like useful stuff that you can do in LFA.
Uh,
Do you have any like useful
oh, it's on the
documentation
source code. It's on the source code.
of what?
Well, LFA. You go to their repo, and it's in there.
It's in the source code. Lots of examples on the blog. Really? Examples on the blog. Wait, docs. Macro, user guide, IO functions, quick start, tutorials. Okay, so they have. Damn, this is like old style. Cool. So how can I search for? Um, Actually, this should be an Erlang thing. Can you like nest gets in Erlang? Like get in enclosure,
Nested?
Marinho.
Uh, Probably not, but also you can just do a nested pattern matching, no?
Nested pattern matching. Eh, get map get. Wait, so they actually have. It's not column. It's like dash. That's weird. So this is a built-in form,
It's
and
map
the
get,
map
not
comes
maps.
and the map comes first. Mhm. Let macro receive uncall common list macros.
Man, I'm with a headache, and tomorrow I have to wake up at 6. I wanna die.
Is that because of work?
No, that's the.
You are
Tomorrow's a
recording, by
holiday,
the
right?
way.
So I need to. No, no, that's fine.
Oh, holiday.
Yeah.
Holiday, holiday, holiday. Man, I'm so frustrated. So there is
What do you want to
nothing
do? I didn't follow.
I want. Oh, there is. Oh, but this is using the closure. Fuck. Oh, so disappointed. Okay, so what I want to do? Let me explain. I want to do. I have a map, and I want to do a get on it. But then I want to do another get on it because I need to get this, right? I need to get this, and then I need to do a lookup using an index, and then I'm gonna grab that and do another lookup to get the hand. And I want this is like seems like a perfect use case of threading macros.
So just CLJ colon arrow.
Terrible. It's okay. Uh, and apparently the way to do that in LFA is just to use the closure compatibility layer.
Which makes me wonder, why did they name all these functions CLJ and not like special characters with aliases?
No, because then
Because
you
they
can
are
just grep.
probably it's because they are probably inside of a module called CLJ.
Can I just
Yeah, sure,
import
but
that in
if
here?
you can import the module, right,
Can
so you
I
should have the symbols for them.
can I import? Oh man, I forget how to do imports in LFA again.
I
This is the
don't
second time,
remember as
third
well.
time that happened. Oh, here it is. So there, and then I'm gonna say I want from CLJ. What's the arity of a macro?
Um, I think good question, because this is the kind of thing that has. I think it receives a single thing, which is the list, if I enter guess, because you don't have, uh, you don't have variadic functions, uh, or macro. Actually, that's a macro.
Yeah, that's a
Is that a
macro.
macro or is a function?
No, it's a macro, 100%.
It's a
It's a
macro.
macro. So what's the arity of a macro? That's a good question.
How to import macros LFA.
Good luck finding that, man. I don't think.
Include to handle the
Man, I
imported process.
don't even know if that's LFA, man. I mean, that's this Google
Folder
thing. That's
file. Yeah, but what if my macros are,
garbage.
well, not mine. That's what I want to say.
In a module.
Yeah. What if you have a thing that
Hmm.
is inside a module? Macro expand. Ah, screw it. Let's just namespace it, and later I can discover how to do this shit. So we're gonna do CLJ, the thread last, this. Then we're gonna do map get. Actually, because of the way this works, needs to be a thread first. And what do I want to do? I want to get the players. I want to get the players. Then, after I'm done with that, I need, I'm gonna get the map using, actually now I need to use the list stuff, right? Uh, so what is the syntax again to do the list stuff? I think it's nth, and it's cursed because it needs to be a +1. Never mind. Here it is. Oh, man, that's the problem. That's actually the problem. Because I can't just do that. Nth. Because now I need the list to be in the final position of this. Because I want to put the current in here.
Okay, here's a neat trick. You can actually nest the thread last inside of a thread first, though not the other way around.
Wait, repeat that.
You can put a thread last inside of a thread first, and that works.
And I just noticed that we're gonna keep using this all the time. So I'm actually gonna put this in a separate current there. And then we do the if, like so. And if that's true, then we do the other stuff. Otherwise, we do this. Eh, oh, the other parentheses in here. We don't need these anymore. Actually, I just noticed every single function needs to be at least a prog n, right? Because we need to also call ourselves play state. Now this can go away. There we go. That's better. Now you can you repeat your idea, Marin?
You can put a thread last inside of a thread first. That works.
Do you mean like clj dot last in here?
Yeah, and then put parentheses around the list. Yeah, list nth.
That's ugly
It's
as
not
fuck.
pretty, but it works.
But that's like then we're
Keep
gonna
in mind
put.
though, you can't go the other way around. If you try to put a thread first inside of a thread last, that breaks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
So after we get that, then we need to do another map get, which is hand. And that should be it, right? So I'm getting the state. I get all the players that are playing the game. Then I need to only one player. So then I use the lists. This is a list of players. I grab the one that I have, +1, because we're gonna use this from 0, but this shit is from 1. Uh, and then we get the hand out of this individual. And then we get the hand.
Uh, I mean, this kind of sucks, but we can number the players from 1 if you want.
Do you want that? Are you gonna be able to sleep with that?
Probably not.
That's what I thought.
By the way, I discovered that Postgres indexes arrays based on one.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Mageta.
Yeah. You can just think of how I discovered that.
Um, silver lining though, easy interop with Lua.
If it's interrupting with Lua,
Because Lua is also one based on the arrays.
I don't think there's any Lua now. Uh, I'm not sure if that was actually if you put zero, it ignores. So it's either one or zero, which is worse if you ask me.
Oh wow, that's kind of cursed.
Yeah, a bit.
Man, they have closure compatibility, but they don't have get in and update in. I'm gonna cry. That's gonna be so annoying.
Ah,
It's gonna be so fucking annoying, man.
those functions are technically variadic in closure,
Sure,
but
but if you have
Maybe that's why.
macros, why would you not? Why would you not do that? Because you see the problem.
because
I need to literally grab the index, change the hand to a new hand, and then reconstruct the state, but pass like creating the new hand, then creating the new players, and then putting that back on the state.
well, you can always implement updating yourself. That's an option.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to do that because holy fuck. There's also no update, right? Map update. What is these dots in there?
Tho- Those are special forms, so they actually take an arbitrary number of arguments.
Oh, but is it gonna tell me what is the special stuff?
Wow, it's key value for map stuff.
Oh, so it is key value, key value. Ah, this is so sad. Update the keys in the map to values. Note that this form requires all keys to already exist in the map. Yeah, but what if you have nested stuff? What happens if I search for the word nested in here?
Oh, map update in LFE is not actually the same as updating closure. That's actually like a soch.
What do you mean? The update that we just read does exactly what we want, no?
No, that's a soch.
I'm gonna read it again because I think it does exactly what we need. Let's try. So where it is? Update person. Okay. Update the keys in the map to values. Update the keys in the map to values. Wait, isn't this just like putting this key to this value in this map?
Yes, it's a soch enclosure.
No, yeah, no. In Clojure it is that, but for us this is what we want, right? But we're gonna have to. Yeah, man, I think it's gonna be better for us to
Yeah.
implement the get in and like map. Oh fuck. Map. No, not that. Map. And then what? It comes the
Ah,
keys and the value.
why would you have a value for get in?
Oh, actually, this is updating. Just this. And then I want to pattern match this thing. How do you do that? Behind the scenes. How do you
Uh,
pattern match on the arguments of the function?
on the arguments of the function, I'm not sure.
We did this already
Um,
before.
can't you just use a case though?
No, but that's the thing. LFA has an automatic case on it. Nageta knows what I'm talking about.
Wait, it does an automatic case? What?
Yeah, you don't remember? We did this before, years ago. Knife,
Oh man.
source. We did this before. I'm not joking. Knife, LFA. Yeah, that's actually not the one that I want. You have like base AST. Yeah, this. See, Marinho.
Oh, I remember this.
Oh, this is like when you do arity overloading in Clojure. I see.
Yeah, but what if I have? Oh, we're using the tuple keyword in here. I see. Okay, so in that case, what we're gonna do? We're gonna actually, yeah. So this has double parentheses because of that, and then in here we put the tuple, and then in here we're gonna get map as before. But here I want to pattern match on the list. So if there's an empty list, which is we're also doing in here. If there's an empty list, we need to do something about that. So we probably should just have an exception or something.
No, if there's an empty list, you return the map.
That's true. If it's something else, like, and then I want to pattern match on the head and the
And the
body, but I
tail.
don't remember if that's a thing. Basic. Did I use that at any point? Oh, I did. Thank you. Past me. Cons. And then we're gonna call this recursively. Right, Marin?
Yup.
Get in. You
Map get
pass map get, passing the map and the head, and
and the
you
tail
tail
as
here.
the second argument. Yeah.
Is that it?
Uh,
Are you missing anything? Now this will throw an exception if you do bullshit, but I don't care.
why? Hmm. So it does take. This takes a tuple as a pattern match for the argument list, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
Wait, but now I'm considering maybe that means that this is a single argument. You know what I'm saying? How do you pattern match on two things?
Oh, you dropped.
Yeah, no, the you started like cutting. Can you repeat?
I think the example you were looking at is like way up there.
No, it is, but I'm trying to see if there's an example that I was pattern matching on two things because I think this is only a single thing, right?
That's
This.
yeah, that's a case. That's a case.
Yeah, but I wonder if how do you pattern match on two things? Is that a thing? Must be a thing, right?
If you want to pattern match a tuple, I can only see that being the way.
No, yeah, that's what we did years ago. We pattern match on a tuple, but that means that we cannot pattern match on multiple things, like in Haskell. It's the same problem
I
as
don't think.
OCaml.
Yeah, you can do that in F sharp too.
Written as normal data expressions where symbols are variables and use quote to match explicit values. Yeah, so this is how we did it, right? Don't care. Binaries and tuples have special syntax. Repeated variables are supported in patterns, and there is an automatic comparison of values. Repeated
Yeah.
variables are supported.
Yeah, if you have the same variable appearing twice in the same pattern, that's only going to match if the value is the same in both places.
Ah, I see. Well, but that still means that we're gonna have to send a tuple to the function. We cannot just send two things like in closure. Is my understanding correct in that?
No, I mean, the function can take multiple arguments, it's not clear what's the correct syntax to do pattern matching on the defun declaration.
Yeah, but do you agree that it seems to be that you are supposed to only send like a camel problem essentially? You can only pattern match if they are glued together. You cannot just have like multiple arguments. Because probably there was a reason I think that I did this way in the other code. Mm, so if we have patterns, pattern matching LFA, pattern matching.
Okay, I'm looking at an example, and I think you're supposed to use a list on the pattern match for the function arguments, not a tuple.
Ah, is that is that like what?
Just get
This
rid of the hash. No, just get rid of the hash in front of the. Yeah,
like this?
yeah, like that. I think so.
Yeah, tuple. Yeah, I think you're right. You see, tuple, list, and then there are two things, and then there's the case, which is using just tuples. Wait, case can only use like single stuff?
Yes,
Why?
because
Because?
Because that's what I heard.
Come on, bro. Come on.
uh
Tuples. Wait, what? Aliases are defined in the following general form. Alias can be used anywhere in a pattern. A quick example of this is updating the previous example with aliases. Wait. Wait. The same variables that were bound in the previous example are bound in this one. Wait, what? You can... You can... Why would you do that?
well, if you want to bound the parts of the tuple to names and the entire tuple has a different name, you would have to do that.
No. Oh, okay. You mean like if you want to
It's
repeat.
just that in the general case you have two patterns, right? So that's what the example used. But a pattern can be just a single
Oh, okay.
variable.
Here it is. This is our case. Def fun safety check, and then this is just a list of stuff. Awesome. 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 This is it, right? For get in. Let's do update in. So update in receives this, and this is the one that receives the value, right? Marin.
Yeah, it needs to receive a value as well.
Okay, and then in here we put a value. But this one is not that simple, right? We can't just...
No, it is. It's just not tail recursive.
No, but we need to keep going further, right?
What do you mean?
Actually, that's this is gonna be the final key, right? And then here we do the update. map update key value. And this is recursive. Update map get, but instead of just doing
That's
that,
not gonna work, Lemus.
wait. If we reach the final key, we just updated, and this returns the new
This
map.
fun. Uh,
If you have more keys to go, if you have more keys to go, we we get the nested map. We get the nested map for you. We need to keep sending keys. So this is where the tail goes, and then the value goes here. Is this not correct, Marin?
it's not.
Can you explain me why?
Because this is going to peel off all of the layers of the map until the innermost one is going to update that inner value and just return it.
Ah, I need to keep the original map on it, right?
Yes.
I see. I see. So how do we plan on doing that?
Well, as I said, this function is not actually tail recursive.
So do we need to like keep the original map as we go?
Yes. Well, kinda. It would be something like I'm actually writing it down. Just give me a moment.
Isn't just like map merge or something, and then we merge the original with the return of the function call?
Uh, Update in map get map key tail value.
That's also a good question. How do we merge stuff? Here,
It would be something like this.
merge. Okay, I'm actually pretty curious. What are we gonna do? Let's see. Uh, what is the second argument? Is this the list of keys?
Yes, you take the map, a list of keys, and a value, basically.
Wait, I'm so confused. This, so if this is the base case, right? For
Yes.
this call. So if you reach a case in which there's not no keys, you just return the value. However, if there are keys in there, what do? You grab the map, you change that key to be this value, which is doing the recursion, and you change this key to be this value.
The sequence of keys, actually.
But wait a moment. But this is a key, man. This is like a list, right?
Yes, the second argument to update in is a list of keys.
Oh, the parenthesis doesn't end here. This is actually an argument not for the map update, but the update in. Oh no, no, no.
Yep.
Then it makes sense. Then it makes sense. Okay, let's use this because it's gonna be way more useful. So in this particular case, though, can I use it in here to for the because of the players? I can't, right? Because I need to do this shit.
Mm, yeah, this is kind of sad actually, because in Clojure you can actually do update and assert on vectors as well. Uh,
No,
but
so
you
then this
obviously,
function will be polymorphic out of the box.
well, update in is polymorphic in Clojure actually.
I see. I see. I see. I see. That's pretty sad, huh? Well, but who said that we can't just do that, right? We can like can we can probably inspect this thing
Yeah,
before
we
doing
can
this.
check if this value is a map and call map update if it is, and something else if it's not, right? That's possible.
Yeah, let's actually try to see how bad that is. So if yeah, how do we know if a value is a map?
I'm guessing map question mark, maybe, possibly. I'm not sure.
Map question mark. Let's see. Map. They are using the closure one. Damn.
Which I
Okay.
like, by the way.
What?
Which I like. I like that.
I think this should be built in. You should
There's
not be
probably a
depending on
built-in.
closure.
There's probably a built-in with a different name, but I like map question mark.
Okay, if it's a map, then we do this shit. If it's not a map, what do we do? Then we're gonna assume it's a list, right?
We could. That's gonna break if it's not actually a list, but we could.
Okay, but in that case, um, what's gonna look like the this call in the
It's going to be similar to the
lists
previous case, except we need the list.
alternative
We need basically
merge.
env tail, env.
Partition, search, sequence, split. How do you like change something?
Um,
Flat map, fold for each, join, key find,
key replace maybe.
key replace.
Probably
Returns a
not though.
copy of the of list where the first occurrence of t tuple whose nth element compares equal to key. I think this is it, no?
Ah, yeah, no, actually, it isn't. That's I think that's for using a returns a copy of tuple. Yeah, that's actually using a list as an association list.
Ah, I see what you're saying. But that's kind of crazy. They don't have like a way that you can in like index a list. That's crazy. Change change member of list given index. You gotta be fucking kidding me. This should be a crime.
Man,
Uh,
even Emacs Lisp has that.
I wonder if LFE has something in
because of the
the
closure
Uh,
path?
yeah.
you can use the lists env, no? From
No, that's
Erlang.
for getting it. We want to change
Uh,
it.
oh, you want to update it. I see. In
So what
place.
do what do you suggest to search here, Marinho?
Those are predicates, right? Hmm.
Actually, I'm gonna
Yeah, I
search
don't
for
think you can
update.
do that actually.
Really?
I misunderstood you. Yeah, I misunderstood you. I think you need to map and then change the key you want given the index. So like map I and then if blah blah blah.
That's insane.
I mean, it's a list, right? It's not an array.
Can't we just use a tuple
What do you mean?
instead of a list?
Oh, you mean for the
On the
players?
match?
Here?
Yeah.
But that was what I did. But you
Tuple.
suggested to use this.
No, no. Before you had each player on a separate key. My suggestion was okay, let's put those in a list because they are all players after all. But what if we use a tuple? Doesn't I wonder if, well, actually that depends if LFE actually has a way to update a tuple by the position of the field you want to update.
Ah, you mean a tuple like this? Like this in Erlang.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Let's see. Let's actually see. But then that's a new thing. So Erlang doesn't have a way to update. That's
Uh,
weird. Ah, here it
Tref
is.
set. There you go.
Here it is. Okay, I'm so glad the Mahjong only has 4 players. Thank you. Okay, so if it's not a map, we're gonna assume it's a tuple, and we're gonna do what? T set map index.
That's the key.
Wait, that's the key.
Yeah.
But the key is on an index, brother.
Well, it can be. Why not?
Okay, actually that makes sense. And then the value is gonna be the recursive call, right?
Yes.
Uh, ref.
You're missing the value there. And the
Yeah,
tail as well.
like this.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, so essentially, let me see if I got it. To get the hand of the player now, what I need to do is get in. We need to do the same thing for get, right?
Yes, we do.
So, boom. So if you are a map, we just do this. And if you're not, we're gonna assume it's a tuple. Then it's gonna be get in t ref map head and then tail all the way. Is that it?
Yep.
I wonder if this is gonna behave as we expect, but let's see. So I do get in, which means I need to put a list in here and a not that a list and a map. So the map is a state for sure. So what I want here is grab players, then grab uh, plus current one, and
That's
then
not gonna
grab the
work, by
hand.
the way.
Tell me more about it. I think that should
Because
be it instead.
you have a quote around the entire list, so nothing's gonna get evaluated. That's actually a list containing a quote, containing another list which is quote players, and then another list which is plus current one, and another list which is quote hand, basically.
I agree, but how do you do the other syntax? What is the other syntax for
Just
lists?
just call list as a function. It's actually a special form, but it should work.
They don't have another syntax for lists.
No, we just open
Damn,
paren list, then the elements, and then close parens.
too long. Okay. Will this work though?
It should.
Is that it? Can we just get rid of all this stuff? And then in here, after getting the hand,
Actually, I have a question.
tell me more
Are
about
tref and tset zero based or one based?
it. Great question. We're gonna discover that pretty shortly. T set. I don't think it's gonna tell us. T set least flavored Erlang.
You know what's kind of cringe?
What?
They have tref and map get. Shouldn't it be tget or map ref to make it consistent?
That's true. That is actually pretty true. Uh, okay, let me actually open this in the another browser here. Dset. So is it or is it not zero base? How I'm gonna actually be able to say that, to check that? Yep, reading the XD's repo of examples, I can say.
Can't you just check it in the REPL?
Sure. No, but it's gonna try to evolve, I think. It's gonna break. Yep. Let's actually finish this because we're pretty there, pretty up there. Uh, so let's
I have
see.
the answer. It's one based as well.
Okay. Uh, that's very sad, but okay. Uh, anyway, so if you are the player that is supposed to be playing the discard, you want to discard this piece. This guy wants to discard this piece. We will get the hand, and now we need to eliminate something from the hand. And the hand is a list. So how do you remove stuff? Key delete. But is this? No, this is
That's
doing
for
the
a so
association. Yeah,
yeah,
association.
that's for A lists. You want can't you just do a filter?
Delete.
Oh, there's a delete.
No, but this is based on equality. I want the index, brother. Can't you just do a
Mm,
filter?
the filter is not gonna work unless there's a version of filter that includes the index, I guess.
That's pretty crazy. They don't have anything even resembling mutation. Even though they could just return the new list. And I know. Subtract? No.
Uh, there's
Man, what the
split with.
fuck? What the fuck?
Why not split
Split? Because that's gonna
or
create two lists, man.
sublist maybe?
Sub. Do you want like,
Actually, sublist doesn't quite work either.
man, delete element from list or line? How to remove elements from a list? Wait. His delete is actually. Oh, this is the element you want to delete.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, they are teaching the guy how to do it yourself.
I mean, a worst case scenario, we
What
can
the
just.
Man, what? That's so weird. That's so weird. Don't you find that to be weird?
I mean, if Erlang lists were finger trees, you could just slice them. But
Okay, so
as it
lists
is,
are cringe. That's what I'm learning. In Erlang, lists are very cringe. Uh, okay, so what do you suggest? Implement it ourselves?
yep.
Uh, remove list index. And what do you want to do? There are many ways of doing this. Do you have any split functions?
Split is kind of sad though.
Yeah, no, split works. Yep, split works. So we're gonna do, that's not, we're gonna do let uh, before split index. Is this inclusive? Actually, it doesn't matter if it's inclusive or not. And then we're also gonna have after. Where is the drop? Wait, they have drop last. You gotta be fucking kidding me, my friend.
That's terrible.
Oh wait, I'm stupid. Split already does that. Okay. After, and then we just grab. We just reconstruct the list now, but we need to drop either the head of this or the tail of this or the last of this. Which one do you think that's the case?
Mm, which one is the case?
Yeah, try,
Um,
try to do it yourself if you have the repo running there. Try to call lists, split, and then put, I don't know, two, and pass a 3 element list.
one moment. I'm doing a thing. We need to do this, and then we need to do.
While you do that, I need to discover. Oh, we do have concat. Things. That's hilarious. That's actually hilarious. Marinho?
One second. I'm still checking a thing. Um,
Is everything
there's
alright?
no equals. Yeah, no, it's all right. I'm trying to implement the function. It's just.
Which
How do
function?
you actually the remove function actually?
But we are 99% there. What?
Uh, how do I actually do pattern matching actually? Like outside of an actual pattern, like
Again, but
in LFE.
again, I don't understand. We are 99% done with this version. What's the problem?
The problem is the split. It will need to be followed by concat, which is kind of cringe.
No, but we can improve things later, man. I don't get it.
Hmm.
Are you doing recursion and just jumping the index?
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand.
Where's the documentation? Learn. And where's equality?
Are you doing an
Actually, I
inner
can just
function? Man, why? I don't. I have yet to
actually I can
understand.
just actually I can just do this. I think this remove A B C 2. Yeah, this works. Uh, I couldn't figure out a nicer way to do the equality check, but here you go.
I'm still not understanding why we could just have figured this out faster, man. I don't. I didn't. I haven't understand the rationale you made there. Um. So if you have a list, Oh, this is not gonna work. Oh no, this is gonna work because this is not in a case. This is in a function. So this works. So if you have a list in there and you have a number one, you just return the tail, which is true. But if you have more stuff in it, which is not one, then you check that one is smaller than n. So this is for positive stuff. Wait, where are you using this?
That's a constant. That's not actually a symbol.
Why do we need this?
Well, that was just the easiest way to do an assertion that I found. This is to prevent the case where, okay, you accidentally passed in a negative number. What's gonna happen? It's gonna loop forever and blow the stack.
This is not asserting anything.
It actually is. That's a pattern matching against the constant true.
Wait, this is a constant in the language?
Yes.
They don't do it like this? Wait, this? No, they don't do it like this. That's what you're telling me.
If you do it like that, you're matching it against.
That's so cringe. Holy. Okay. That's so cringe. Okay. And then you do the cons. So you keep the current element,
That actually works as well.
and then you just pass the tail and you decrement. Mm, I have a question.
Yes.
This is not doing. Wait. So if you pass, if you, what's going to be the output of this? No, not that.
That's going to remove the number 3.
Ah, I see.
It's because
So
of the first clause. You see, it's actually dropping the head. You could replace that with an underscore to make it clearer.
no, no, no. That wouldn't make it clear. The what was confusing to me is how you're keeping the previous ones as you were moving forward, because this is essentially moving forward. How you're keeping the
But
previous people. This is how you
there's
do
a
it.
cons, yes.
Yeah, definitely premature. I think we would get away or have gone away with this faster because this is already in the thing. So, but well, now that you did the optimal version, let's use that.
By the way, you can actually replace the true um, with the quote T.
That's way better. I have no idea why they even have the true. Uh, so what we were doing again? Oh, we were getting the hand, and now we have the hand, which is just a bunch of, which is a list. And now we need to remove something from there and update that. So this is going to be update in state list players. Actually, I'm going to also man, I'm sorry. I'm going to put the entire thing 0 1 based because I don't care. So current hand. I'm updating that stuff with the new hand, which is remove from this hand the index. And this is actually, yep, this is not actually how what are we gonna do. We're gonna actually do something else, and then we're gonna return play with this, and then in here we need to say success. Is that it?
Mm, if equals player current,
And I'm actually gonna replace. Ooh, this is not a lazy language. Hmm.
what were you thinking of?
I want to put this in a binding.
Hmm. I mean, you can. You just need to put it inside of the if.
Which is already, well, that's already happening, but that's uglier. But sure. So we're gonna put current hand, like so, and then this is current hand, current hand. That's not so bad. What do you think? And I don't think we need a tuple in here. What do you say?
Ah, it's alright. I think it works.
No, no. Yeah, but what can we improve on it?
What can we improve on it? Um,
I'm also gonna make a function called error. Message, callback, and this is gonna essentially do. Oof, 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 oof. Can I make functions inside functions?
I don't see why not. There's a lambda, isn't there?
There is a def fun, a let fun in the docs.
There you go.
Yeah, but this is kind of annoying now that I think about it. Hmm, you know why? I think this is annoying. Because I would like to just put this in here and just put this in there. You don't even need a callback in then. And in this, you just put the
Uh,
message and
you need to
let
take the
that and
you
that.
need the PID as an argument as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Can't we deconstruct this maybe? Because
The
again,
PID is not in the state; it's in the receive.
yeah, but we don't want the PID of this guy, right? That's why we did that.
What do you mean?
Exactly that. We don't need the process ID of who is running this function. We want the process ID of who is running these functions.
Yes,
Okay, so that's why. Do you think it's worth it though? Like to just do it like this?
I think it is because otherwise that's going to be very annoying. It's going to need to be repeated on every error case.
Because then we can just say error. You can't discard right now. But are you ready to try this? Like this is it, right?
All right.
Let's try. Let's go to the errors. Symbol map is unbound. Function had arity mismatch. So line 36. Let's go through the errors.
By
Arity.
the way, your Emacs is with the line numbers are off right now.
Oh, sorry. There we go. So line 36, it's saying that the function had arity mismatch. Function head. What?
Hmm.
Function
Arity,
head.
arity mismatch, but both cases have the same arity, no? Oh, I know. It's because the if is not actually inside of the body of the function, I think. Yeah, it's because of that. You need to fix the nesting.
Let's try this again. It's better. Symbol error is unbound on 57. Oh, okay, so that's not how you do that.
Yeah, no, you need a let fun, and you need to put the receive inside of that.
I miss Racket. I actually do miss fucking Racket. Internal function LFE. Let's just confirm that this is the only way to go about it. Well, what if I do def fun, commenting functions, def foo. Functions are lexically scoped and bound by the top level def fun and by macro flat and flat rec. LFA is a Lisp2, so functions and variables have separate namespaces. And when searching for a function, both name and arity are used. This means that when calling a function which has been bound to a variable using this, it is required to call lambda match lambda bound to a variable or used as a value. Okay, I surrender. Let's actually do a let fun, which has it's not fun, but I guess like this maybe.
And then you put the receive inside of the let function.
Like so.
Hmm. Yeah, that should work, I think. Assuming we got the nesting correctly.
Bad let function form. Yeah, so I don't know how to make this. So it's saying to put this in there? Is that what you're saying?
A name and then a lambda. Oh, I see. You actually need to use a. I think that can work if you replace the let function with an flet, actually.
Flat? No. 57.
Not quite. Okay.
Uh, I think you need to put a lambda in here.
Okay, back to the let function then.
Yeah, but where do you use flat?
Hmm.
F. There's no flat. If case. Oh, it's not in alphabetic order. My bad.
Do a let with a lambda on a variable.
But then you have to do a fun call.
Oh, there
Well,
is an
yeah.
flat. Actually, yeah, the form is specifying exactly as you imagine, Maria. So why this doesn't work?
You need to get rid of the parentheses around the PID message and the body of the thingy, I think.
You mean this?
Pray so I don't explode my house now, by the way.
Okay.
What are you doing, Mageta?
I bought an old Apple router that has a 2 terabytes of storage inside of it. It's a time capsule, right? So I'm
Hmm.
gonna try to turn it on and let's see.
Okay. Yeah, you shouldn't do that, Lemos.
It's not clear by the docs in there.
It's a flat from Common Lisp. You do the function name, the local name, then the arguments, and then the body with no parentheses in between.
No, but that's the thing. This body is kind of like loose. Shouldn't it be like this?
No, it shouldn't because it's bound by the parentheses around the name of the function.
So it should be like this. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's weird. Doesn't work.
Oh, it's common. Well, it's common Lisp.
No, it's weird because this body is like there are two things going on here. There is this thing and this thing, and there's nothing bounding like binding them together to be the body. They're just there. That's why it's hella weird. Let me see an example to see if we're not tripping. We are not tripping.
Oh, that's the common Lisp documentation. I see.
Yeah, but what if you have two things? They keep not telling me. Yeah, so their examples are all nested. What if you have two things? Do you just do a prog n and that's it?
I'm pretty sure you don't actually need a prog-in.
I'm not finding any useful examples. Holy fuck.
I'm surprised you're finding examples at all. Oh,
So
that's from the
how?
the guy from the Practical Common Lisp, Diga Monkeys.
Yeah, all of their examples are nested. That's kind of.
What do you want to do?
I
I
want
didn't understand.
to. I just want to confirm that if you do an flat and you define a function, and these are the arguments.
Yeah.
Marinho said that the body is just the list of stuff that comes afterwards. So these two
Yes.
things.
So we
I'm
need the
asking,
program.
yeah, I'm asking if this should be inside a program together.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me, but I don't want to make like I don't I'm not I don't want to question Marinho, the master Marinho directly.
I mean, you could put a prog-in. If it's redundant, it's not gonna do anything. If it isn't, then well,
No, but the
I
error
don't
message
know.
is well, let's say that's not what this means though, because if we put
You
the
can try
program and
that
this
on the
works,
REPL.
You can try it out on the REPL, yes.
program. So no, you see, I added the program and I didn't change anything.
Player
So,
is unbound. Oh, I think I know why actually. Receive blah blah blah.
but there's no player in here. So let's assume that this just works. Player happens in here. Player happens in there. I wonder if you can use pattern matching using this syntax.
Yeah,
Maybe you
no,
can't.
get rid of the hash and use tuple. Yeah.
Why? Illegal parentheses. There is an extra parenthesis in my shit. So are all the parentheses correct? No. Let's see now. Seems to be. Current hand is unbound. Where is current hand? It's in here. Why are you unbound, friend? I'm confused. How is
Mm,
current hand unbound? Oh, I know. This needs to be a let star. Okay. This clause cannot match because of different type slash sizes. 50. It's in the remove function.
mm,
It's in the remove.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Nathan. What the fuck is this? That's weird.
That's a good question.
Yeah, but this clause cannot match because of different types slash sizes. What?
Maybe you need a quote around the one up there.
You mean here?
I'm just guessing. I could be wrong.
No, man,
Nope.
I don't think so. Let's actually go to the here patterns. Can you pattern values?
Well, you definitely can.
No, yeah, but aside from binary.
Wherever a pattern occurs, it can be followed by an optional guard which has the form when test.
Yeah, that's guards from Okemo as we saw also. Where
Oh, you can
was the?
actually replace the let with a guard then.
That's true. We have a when. Actually, it's called guards. It's not in here. Yeah, but I just want to make sure that you can pattern match values because otherwise we're gonna waste a bunch of time. Oh, you can. No, no, wait. This is a T, not a 1. So the question is... Yeah, you need to use the keyword tuple for the patterns. The hashtag is only for values, which is quite sad. Okay, so guards, LFA, Erlang. Guards. You're not gonna show me examples. And this presentation keeps popping up. Guards, tuple.
Hmm.
Oh, it comes immediately after. Immediately. Let's try. So you are suggesting us to put the when here and then say what? Equals equals t 1n. Is that your suggestion? Marinho.
Hmm. When
Yeah, but I don't know where to use the guards.
just use when and the comparison. You don't need the equals.
Comparison, you mean this?
No, just do
Ah,
when
this.
less one is less than n. Yeah,
Is this the syntax though? Seems
it
wrong.
is actually.
So this works. Oh yeah, actually it does. Huh. But what is that? Is unused, it's saying. Unused. I think this is saying local error because it's inside play, it's local, and is an error function.
Hmm.
56. Yeah, so I think the problem is telling us that it's not we are not using this function. But
But
this
we
is
are.
but we are. What do we do now? How how are we not using it? Let me change the name of this function to error true. Is there a function called error? Yeah, play error. Man, there is a function called error. No, there isn't. Wait,
It's not
when
the
you do an
same as Erlang.
flat, do you
Like
need to do a fun call? Sorry, Mageta?
probably because it's a variable, right? Uh,
Ah, so
and
I
you
need
need
to
But
and
do
don't
it
it
forget the arity as well because it will
fun
search on the
call like
symbol probably.
this?
Yeah, and then you put the arity, right? Slash blah blah.
Like this.
I think so.
I have my doubts. Error true is unbound.
I think you need the quote hashtag, right?
Hashtag like this?
And then slash two.
Like this?
I think so.
Illegal
No.
token.
um,
That's the
isn't it?
opposite, right?
Yeah, it's the other way around. No, it's hash quotes. Although I
Yeah,
think that was deprecated, wasn't it?
No, now
and it
it's
worked.
saying unused again. Man, this
Then I can't find
nonsense.
the.
How do you use... How do you use
Natai is saying
fun...
that this syntax is so irradiantly beautiful that it makes his eyes burn.
Okay.
Like most
Function...
beautiful
Okay,
things.
so this means that when calling a function which has bound to a variable using funcall, is required to call lambda match lambda bound to a variable or uses a value. What?
Hmm.
Error is unbound. What do you mean? What do you mean? Help me, people.
Error is unbound.
You would think that since it's flat, it would actually bind the symbol as a function.
I'm putting the correct amount of parentheses, right?
I
This
think
is a list
I
that has two
think it's
parentheses.
I think it's arity
You think it's arity.
because it's trying to understand as a simple symbol, right? Not as a
But this symbol is
one of
bound.
the.
That's what we don't understand.
Yes, but it's not. It's not like remember the functions. They are tied to their arity on Erlang, right? They're not just a function. So it's error slash two. That's the actual name of the thing.
Okay, so you're saying that it should be this way and this way.
Yes. How else the syntax should be like? I don't know, but
It's saying error
can
true
you
is undefined.
wait. Go back there to the message. There's something weird on there. You see that it's slash two?
Obrigado.
So it did infer the amount of arguments by the a quantity that you have in the call on the phone call. So that seems to be fine. So you probably don't need the slash two then.
No, but we already tried just quote. And it also
Yes, but
didn't work.
remove the slash two and just put hashtag quote.
Like this?
Yes, let's see.
No.
Nope.
Bad
Oh,
of
bad
format.
format of error. What?
The syntax is an abomination. Who is
It is
talking to
actually.
me? Okay, people are talking to me. Okay, so bad of format. Man, this is so weird. Phone call LFA Erlang.
Ah, okay, this thing didn't explode.
Phone call.
Wait a second.
Is Nathan complaining about it? Such a beautiful syntax. He makes my eyes burn. Oh wait, there is also the examples thingy. Let me also search in there. Oh, okay. Actually, Magetta is correct. You do put the hashtag quote and the arity.
Don't see why the arity there would be necessary, but okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
Nathan is actually doing fractamo.
let me
Oh,
see.
good luck for him.
Does it work? Is it better?
Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger.
It's actually pretty cool. Starting now. Great. Anyway, so we need to discover what the heck is going on wrong. I have no clue.
That Windows, by the way. Oh no, that's not Windows. I can see the crappy GNOME cursor.
You know what pisses me
Okay.
off? That the man, look at this example. Look at this fucking example here. You see this?
Yeah.
So he's getting a predicate from. Wait. You can swap the parentheses with brackets, so it looks like closure. Okay. Um, they were
I kind of
this
hate
function.
that, actually.
Sorry.
I kind of hate that.
Yeah, that's very you to hate that, but you can't do that. Apparently. Wait, but look, they are doing a phone call and just calling the pred. That is happening here.
That's because the pred is an argument, it's not bound in an F-let.
Well, but in our case, we have the flet binding the thing, so that's what I don't understand at all. Let me also try to check for flet examples in the examples thingy. Oh, here it is. Uh, flet. Are you kidding me? You don't have any examples with flet. Yep, they have only one example with flet.
The REPL has the answer, Magetta. The REPL has all the answers.
What is the answer?
The answer is this.
It's whatever the REPL says. Oh, so just what? So just call.
Oh, you're just calling it, but
Hmm.
that also doesn't work.
Yeah, that's
We already
strange.
tried that. That was what we were doing before, like this. But the arrow just changed to unused. Def fun, let rec, and then you just call that, and then you also call that. So the question is, what are we doing wrong here, folks?
It's a three-argument function, apparently.
What?
Hmm.
Oh, you mean down here in the error message? 3?
Yeah.
Wait, you think there if you put something like in here?
No, that's not it, Lemos. It's just the error message makes me believe that it's thinking that something somewhere is a three-argument function that we're not using.
Give me a sec.
Okay, what if we put the prog back in here? And we say get rid of that. Nope. Nope. I'm getting pissed. Let's try to just do a print in there. So I'm just gonna say nuke that. Are you happy? No. What if you remove the flat? No. Okay. You are happy.
Hmm.
So that means that the flat is completely fucked. That's what it means. And I have no understanding on why. And if you do it such, it's gonna say, hey, this local error function. I would like to understand these numbers. What is the true?
Oh, I think there's a special form called error that you're trying to override, but you can't
But we
because
already
it's a
did that
special form.
before. See? You think it needs to be
But you're not
trash?
calling that anymore. You're
I'm
not calling
not.
that anymore.
Yeah, okay, but let's try to call it. So if I no, if I do that and remove that, that's actually not the correct name. Let's put whatever. Let's actually call this loop.
That's a very silly name. It doesn't actually loop.
It does.
Hmm. Function undefined.
I'm so confused right now. How does this make any sense?
Wait, what?
Like, Marinho suggested that the word error should not be used ever,
Makes sense.
aside
It's
from
probably
the
a
Nato.
symbol. A quote.
Then I changed it to loop, and now the error said function loop undefined. The same warning as before, but the function is now described as undefined.
Hmm.
Define.
Like, we must be doing something really fucking stupid right now.
Well, we do that all the time.
Which reminds me, I'm gonna finish the recording. It's still recording.